it's not all bad news in DC land. DC fans, stand up. James Gunn fans, stand up. Because your boy might actually be cooking this time, okay? Let's get into this. So this is an exclusive over on Nexus Point News, who is very good. Man of Tomorrow casting description hints at new hero joining the DCU. What is it, like Plastic Doormat Man or some other random ass bullshit that James Gunn cooked up? Get the fuck out of my face. Okay, anyway, as announced last week, DC Studios is currently casting Brainiac. That's good. The lead villain of Man of Tomorrow. In addition, a new female role is cast to join the film. Sources tell Nexus Point News that a new female hero is being cast for the film. She's described as being in her late 20s and having an edge to her. What's interesting is there's a height requirement for the character, and they're looking for a taller actress. In addition, the character is being described as being a warrior and having a strong physique. All details point to this character being Wonder Woman, a character that has been highly requested by fans to make her debut in the DCU. Other potential candidates for this mysterious character would be Big Barda or Black Canary. I'll freak out if it's Black Canary. Big Barda would be dope, though. Like, I'll freak out in a bad way if it's Black Canary. Like, get that out of here. Wonder Woman appearance could also set her up to appear in her solo film, which is currently being written by the Supergirl writer. James Gunn has stated that the film is being fast-tracked. In addition, a prequel series titled Paradise Lost was in development for the DCU. Wonder Woman was created by William Moulton Marston and H.G. Peter and debuted in All-Star Comics #8 in 1941. Over the years, the character has been portrayed by Kathy Lee Crosby, Linda Carter, Adriana Palicki, and Gal Gadot in live action. Okay, so we got some other details in there, but here's the main thing. The movie's casting grids are going out. I explained this last week, but that's how a lot of these people are getting this info. Now, I think Nexus Point News is correct in assuming that the words on the actual documentation, on the actual casting grid, do point to attributes of Wonder Woman. And I do think it's important to point out that Zaslav has talked about Wonder Woman, that Gunn has talked about Wonder Woman. I think in a world where Matt Reeves refuses to give you his Batman and is also taking his sweet mother-loving time making his Batman, so your DCU Batman is probably got to not come out anytime soon. I think in that scenario, you look to the other part of the Trinity. The DC Trinity has always been Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. And if you don't have Batman and you have Superman, the other missing piece is Wonder Woman. And I think that, like, again, it almost feels like maybe Zaslav or people at Warner Brothers kind of pushing Gunn a little bit here because, frankly, I don't think he's really that interested in Wonder Woman. I think, we know his sensibilities. He's more interested in the obscure. But this is him playing ball again because, yes, they do need a big character. They need as many big characters as possible. And the character of Wonder Woman, Diana, especially being tall, being an Amazon, is so interesting because it could potentially tie back to like gods and monsters. It could potentially tie back to Brainiac things. Did Brainiac have interactions with other entities thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago? We know that Gunn set up a universe in which metahumans first appeared 300 years ago, but the gods and the old gods and the new gods, we would assume exist even further back than that 300, right? But he has a legacy. He has a timeline here, and Gods and Monsters is, it feels perennial. It feels like this is a story of things that have been out there pre-existing the metahumans. So I think all of that is fair. And I would say that this would be a really good move. I think this would add a lot of oomph to Man of Tomorrow. Diana's awesome. It could also have synergy with Diana appearing in other things. It could have synergy with her own solo movie. And then it allows her to be an important part of the whole thing as they move the story further and further forward. Now, one thing that people are questioning with this is, will it even happen? We're hearing about all of these things. Warner Brothers up for sale. And I think it's absolutely fair. It is the case that Gunn fast-tracked this film, and I think he fast-tracked it because of the sale. Some of you guys might think that's a low blow, like I'm hitting below the belt. I don't think so. I think that's probably fair, guys. I think he saw what was happening, and I think he fast-tracked this film. And I think two things. I think number one, that's smart. I think either way, he should probably be fast tracking movies. And so I'm not opposed to it because we need the content and we need more DC stuff. You don't want to get in the position that Marvel's in where it's like 5 years ago we saw Shang-Chi, you know, everything feels like it's not actually focused and you don't want that, right? So I think you need to get this shit out faster. Like I said when I heard about the Jimmy Olsen show, I was like, well, this is arguably a good idea. Execution is everything. And one thing they need is they need this thing out fast, dude. They need this thing out by the end of next year. And then I think it works, right? So that's absolutely like a part of it. The other part of it is I think Gunn wants more on the scoreboard. And I think that that's fair. And I'm concerned about what the scoreboard's going to look like for Supergirl. And I'm concerned about what the scoreboard's going to look like for Lanterns. And I'm concerned about what the scoreboard's going to look like for Clayface. And so Man of Tomorrow already holds more promise to put up better numbers than any project that I just mentioned and better than Superman. It's a sequel. It's bigger. It's building off of what has come before, right? And so it's possible that Jimmy Guns is not just creating a sequel to Superman, but he is creating a fire-ass spectacle sequel that is a learning curve for him as he understands the role, as he understands the audience, and realizes he has to cook better if he wants to stack the numbers in a way that justify the continued existence of his shared universe. So it's an interesting time. I think this is a good move, and I think it kind of hints at some of the other narratives that we've heard being correct. I would absolutely love, by the way, a Paradise Lost show, Game of Thrones style show about the Amazons. I always thought that was maybe one of the best things they had pitched. When they first came out and they were talking about all the DCU stuff, I thought Paradise Lost, one of the most fire ideas they had. And I'd still be excited to see that. And it could, because it feels very different than Gunn, you know what I mean? It could really tap into something special there. So, yeah, that's the story, chat. That's a story about Man of Tomorrow and the potential of Wonder Woman or Big Barda being cast in the film. I'm going to pull up the chat. What do you guys make of this shit, man? What do y'all think of this? Let me scroll up a little bit and see what you guys are saying. I need Flash redone. Oh, yeah. I mean, Flash is a really important character. I think there's been some damage there. I think they're a little reluctant to do it after that movie. But yes, I mean, I think Flash is obviously like an awesome character. And it would be great. It would be great to see that. We're going to get Peacemaker whole arc before 2 of the big 3. I know. I mean, that's dead ass, but that's kind of the problem. Like that's part of the problem. And that hopefully is something that they're trying to address, right? All right, let's see here. We like female DC heroes here, says Boom Patrol. I know, I'm just joking around a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm somewhat of a shyster. I have a crazy sense of humor, and I'll say wild shit. But also, no girls allowed. Let's see. Maybe change the focus to Robin would be a cool point of view. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that still presents a lot of the similar problems, right? You don't want brand dilution or confusion with the fans. You know what I mean? DC will be rebooted anyway, so I don't care. Jesus Christ. I love your opinions on DC overall. Thanks, man. We're not even that far away from season 25 released and no one really talking about it anymore. It came and went. Nothing happened, and the continuous conversations are over. Yeah, I mean, I think it's... you can even see on social media some of the people that were really supportive of Superman kind of saying similar things. Ironically, some of them are content creators, and they're literally just not getting views anymore because Superman isn't popping. So it's been interesting for me to watch people be like, are we ever going to get back on the For You page with Superman content? And I'm like... I mean, maybe. You know what I mean? But look, I saw it happen too. Right out of Superman, dead ass, guys, this happened to me. Right out of Superman, I did a video, went over 100K, breaking down the whole timeline. A couple of weeks later, I did another video. It didn't even get to 10K. I was like, oh my God, where did the interest go for DC? So I think that I think DC has had, you know, it's not even necessarily the case that it is Gunn's fault, but I think there's just been so many broken promises where people are so divided on what DC even is. What does it mean? Like, what do you expect when you go watch a DC thing? That, you know, some of that is playing into it as well. Yeah, it's kind of tough. After Peacemaker season 2 finale dropped, all DC views dropped. Yeah, that appears to be the case, which is a little bit of the Kenobi effect. And what I mean by that is, so Peacemaker season 2's finale was the most watched episode. It actually charted on Nielsen, which is an incredible accomplishment. But it was the worst reviewed episode ever. So ironically, the most people tuned in when it was the worst. And that happened with Kenobi. Kenobi has the most viewed, I believe to this day, Kenobi has the most views of any Disney Plus show ever. Now, there's all kinds of different ways that they talk about that metric, so I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know it got a lot of views. A lot of views. And yet, I think it's one of the worst things they ever made. So ironically, after Kenobi, you see this massive drop-off in the Star Wars viewership on Disney Plus, and it's like fucking aggressive, dude. Like 30% lower, Mando season 3 opening and stuff like that. And it's just like, damn. So I think Peacemaker had a similar thing happen, man. You know, not all that glitters is gold. And sometimes like you can get a lot of views and it can be to your detriment. You know what I mean? It's weird. Hear me out. Rhea Ripley, Wonder Woman. What the fuck? Josh, Snyderverse has loads of movies lined up. New Gods, Justice League Dark, Batfleck Duology, Man of Steel 2, Wonder Woman Trilogy, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman Trilogy, Deathstroke, Gotham City Sirens. Yeah. That's fair. Andrea Daddario as Wonder Woman would be sweet. I don't know about that, man. I still think live action Batman Beyond with Pattinson and Keaton was a missed opportunity. Yeah, and that was going to be real too. Oh, yeah, a lot of swings and misses. Lots of swings and misses. Oh, I missed your member chat. Okay, brother. Griff says, if this overseas company buys Warner Brothers, how excited would you be for Rebel Moon 3? You son of a gun! Hell yeah, Rebel Moon 3. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Jesus, these Snyder bots don't quit. Are you calling me a Snyder bot, brother? Are you calling me a Snyder bot, bruh? The hell? Josh, who do you want Alan Ritson to play? I would like him as Brainiac. And I know people really don't like that pick, but I want my Brainiac to be jacked to the gills. I want a physicality. You know, so that's who I would want him to play. Kinda, yeah. Yo, am I a Snyder bot? Chat. Yes or no? Put it into the chat right now. Am I a Snyder bot? I want to know. I want to know. That's a terrible casting choice. Oh, thanks. Yes, a bit. Yes. No. Yep. Yes. Honestly, yep. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay, that's enough. We don't have to do this. Jesus. So anyway,